Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the PM&A
What is going
podcast number 27. We know the number.
27 or 28?
27 is the number.
Are we sure?
Okay, we are sure.
Fact check.
He is joking.
Fact check.
Because we checked it before we left. Jumped right into the podcast. It's number 27.
I like it. It's kind of our thing. It's like, how many are we doing?
We should just forget every time. Anyway, Thanks everybody for listening to the podcast. This podcast is, as it's always usually is always brought to you by Always Bearded Lifestyle, and they really want you to take care of your beard. They have beard grooming products formulated with natural clean certified ingredients, and they sell beard oil, beard wax, and that awesome sauce, beard cream.
The cream
that you got to get on. If you have a beard, you got to get that cream going on your face.
Cream is where it's at.
We're also brought to you by this week is Friends with Pets, and it's a company in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, not Cambridge, and it's run by this lovely woman named Emily. And she does, it's like an alternative to kennels.
Jeremy, do you have a pet?
I do have a pet.
Would you put your pet in the hands of someone that you wouldn't know?
No strangers are touching my pet. Let's just say that.
You don't let people touch your wild animal, right?
She's not wild.
I
Anyway,
got a bed.
If you did have a wild animal, Emily could probably help you out. So if you're looking for an alternative to a kennel, Emily from Friends with Pets is able to do like an alternative to the kennel situation. She does walks, she does in-home pet sitting, and she also can do in your house or in her house. She helps socialize your pet if you're like, if you're at work and you got a puppy and you need someone to come take it out, take it for a walk, hang out with it, socialize it with another dog.
What's that called? Not anxiety, but when they have, what's that called when they don't like it when you leave?
Oh, it's a separation anxiety, like a kind of a... Like, basically, you're leaving, and they want to hang out with you because your pets love you, and you're supposed to be in a pack, and they don't want you to leave. Anyway, Emily wants to just let you know that she has a great service in the Kitchener-Waterloo area. She does all this work to help you out. It's her service. She actually, Emily's part of the National Service Dog Association, where she trains pups. Yeah. And like I say, she's a great person. That's cool. She loves animals, and she's starting this company. Yeah. It's called Friends with Pets. You can get a hold of her on Instagram, and her Instagram is friendswithpets_, and you can direct message her and ask her availability. She's a great person. If you have any more questions and you can't get a hold of her, contact us on the Instagram, and we'll give you her information. It's a great service. I completely recommend it. Anyway, let's kick into the podcast. We would like to welcome a dear friend of mine from my past, my friend Ben Martin. What's up, Ben?
What's up?
What's up, ukulele man?
What happened there?
How's it going?
My security blanket here. My ukulele's on my lap.
That's all right. That's all right. Ben Martin from Joyful Awe Music. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Joyful Awe Music.
I was gonna say you did talk about bringing your own microphone. I'm like that thing's musical.
Yeah, his voice is musical.
Yes.
It's musical. How's it going, man?
Great.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
Is this your
It's
first?
a treat.
Is this your first podcast you've ever been on?
It is, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm very impressed that you came and did the podcast after the artwork I made after posting that lovely picture of you with a giant afro.
Hey, I'm proud of that.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to grow that back.
Okay. Well, I was very impressed, and the afro definitely seems like it would belong to somebody that would own a ukulele. So
yeah.
Well, I own a ukulele.
You also have a red chicken in the basement for some reason. So let's not go there.
Chicken in the basement. Oh my gosh!
Wait, do you have a real chicken in the basement?
No, it's a red bloody chicken. I noticed it last. Sorry, I noticed it last podcast, and I'm like, so I know it's your house, and I can't say that. I can't say anything. But why in God's name is there a chicken in the corner? And
it's like one of those squeaky chickens that's really loud. Like you always see those memes of those people shoving that big basket of chickens, and they all go like, "Wah!" So I bought one of those as like a joke, and. It's really annoying, so I just keep it in the basement to stay away from mice. Yeah.
I thought it was part of the motif. We got Jesus on the wall.
It is part of our podcast motif too. Part of our room in our studio, we do have a bunch of like cool stuff. That's one of the cool stuff now, the red chicken. Anyway, let's move on. Ben, so what's going on? How's it going? How are you?
Oh, man. All right.
Good.
I guess.
Good.
It's a slog sometimes.
Yeah.
But doing all right. Making some music.
Yeah, so let's talk music, man. So Just so people know, Ben and I go way back. Well, I'd say way back. Ben was
far back.
Ben was my RA in college when I was staying on res. And
what's an RA?
Tell him, Ben. What's an RA?
Oh man, we went to college together. I had some level of responsibility, and Jer was there too, and we hung out.
So
I'm
you
really
were
downplaying the RA thing.
Yeah, you're downplaying it.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I had some. I led a group of guys. I was, I guess, supposed to show some leadership, which I tried to do.
You did a good job,
Jer
man.
was in my group, and we had a good job. We had a good time.
Yeah, we always had a good time. We always played music, and I think everybody kind of like centralized around that. And so now what do you?
Yeah, we had some good sing-alongs, eh?
So it was funny. I brought up the story of our dear friend. Maybe I shouldn't say his name, but we were talking. So we would have these Monday night meetings, impact groups. And there was
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, you do know where I'm going with this. So there was this. So
what's an impact group?
Impact groups where we every Monday night the whole floor gets together and we just talk about because we're all new college students. We have lots of questions and worries. Just like a men's hangout where we talk and we get deep. And sometimes it gets emotional. Sometimes it gets a little bit fired up because people say you don't actually love girlfriends. Maybe you do. So we would always start the impact group with a song. And the song would always what? Oh, never mind.
Oh, I was gonna start singing it. You mean the impact group hymn or the Down by the Bay?
Down by the Bay. Yeah. Down by the bay, where the watermelons grow.
This is hard to do over the internet.
It is really hard.
Yeah, that's okay.
So everybody knows the Down by the Bay, and so everybody would take a turn doing the lyrics, and it would go around this giant circle of dudes.
Do you have to do the actual lyrics, or do you make your own?
You make your own,
oh,
and it was always theme based. So, being Bible college students, some of us were a little bit more, didn't really understand the facts, and maybe came from a homeschool kind of situation.
Oh, jeez.
So I can't remember what the theme was, but I do remember. I'm gonna maybe paraphrase it. So
I love my mom.
Well, it went down by the bay where the watermelons grow. Back to my home I shall not go, for if I do, my mother would say. And this one guy who was particularly awesome. He was very homeschooled, and he says, "I'm getting it wrong, but he said, make sure to read your texts and stop thinking about sex." Down by the... And we all stopped based off of who this guy was and what he, just everything about him. It didn't make any sense for, him to say that. And, it was, it was...
Go
ahead.
My favorite was... Were you in the group when Besmere was in the group?
No.
My favorite was we had a guy that came over as a... foreign student from Albania, and so he was just learning English, and he's learning English, and we're throwing him into Down by the Bay and making him make up these rhymes, and they were always great. they didn't rhyme for sure, but I don't think he really caught the gist of the game. But he was a really funny guy, and he just rolled with it. I loved how he just jumped in, and I don't remember any of the things he said, but it was mostly hilarious jibber jabber.
Yeah, that's classic learning how to kind of sing and find some sort of friendship. But so Ben, talk about what you're doing right now. I know for a while there you were working for the same company I was. I don't know, you're not doing that anymore, are you?
I am still, actually.
Oh, you are? Are you just doing relief?
Yep. No, I'm getting most of my hours there. So yeah, social work, developmental. Sport work.
Yep.
So you're still at Christian Horizons?
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, full time.
Yeah. I get some hours from community living.
Oh cool.
I get some hours from Christian Horizons. I teach music, and I teach music lessons, and I also do some stuff at the Christian school here in town.
Oh cool.
I just started a class today that I'm going to be doing weekly for the year. It's kind of a music elective. It's kind of pretty open concept. I get to do what I want, promote joy and creativity and all that stuff. So I have a lot of jobs right now.
Yeah. That's good to have.
So, yeah, it's a bit of a slog. It's a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
When we talked about this podcast like a month and a half ago or whatever, I had to get tonight off because like me being home on a Friday night is not common.
Not the usual?
Not the usual.
Oh, man.
But,
well, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, but I got the whole weekend off.
Hey, so there you go, man.
Good.
Well, we're only doing it tonight, so you have the rest of the 2 days off.
Yeah. We're only going to do like a couple hours, and then you're off the case.
We'll give you the night off.
Yeah, so I just to give you a little bit of update, just people don't know, Ben and I haven't talked for like, I don't know, maybe like 3 years, something like that.
Well, you're talking now.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
shut up.
You get too busy and you can't talk to your buddy. So I'm like, just so you know, I'm doing the same thing, doing CH, but I'm also kind of like doing my own thing on the side, just respite for a family. I've been doing that for the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty rad, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's where respite's usually pretty open concept too.
Yeah, and I get to kind of pick my hours, and I also make sure that I'm picking a spot that's, easy for me. But so let's get into music. So what are you doing? You got your own company you're rolling out the carpet for J.A.M Music. What's the deal? What's going on with that?
Joyful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Well,
it's all right. And
there's
J.A.M
for
short.
mad.
J.A.M for short, people. J.A.M.
Yeah, let's call it J.A.M.
J.A.M.
I love me some J.A.M.
So that's something that it's still in the very groundworks right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dream I had about 4.5 years ago now when I was working as a pastor. I decided that chapter was over. And so I was thinking about what might be next and trying to thinking that I wanted the next thing I do to be kind of more up my alley.
Yeah.
Like more up my, like in pastoring was up my alley, but very specifically like what gets me excited and what I've had success doing over the years. And so music and kids were the things that came to mind. And so I had this kind of blurry vision at the time of writing kids songs. And actually, like, I've gone through periods in my life where I did a lot of songwriting and through like years of none. So the inspiration's either there or it's not, right? So all of a sudden the songs started rolling out. I'd be opening up my Bible and like singing what's coming off the page because I want some of my songs to teach the Bible. And, I had all these silly songs too that I had written over the years. I probably played one or two of them for you, Jared, but so anyways, and then the thought in my head at the time, so it's like make these songs and also this idea of learning by doing. So the way I learned music was like I started piano when I was 3 or something.
I think
we all really
did.
young.
We all did, yeah.
There's this group piano class, but I quit it eventually. I went through a few grades at Royal Conservatory and then quit it because I didn't want to practice.
What did you think of the conservatory?
What did well, I don't know. I was really young. I think it's for certain learning types, right?
We just put my daughter through it for a year and a bit, and I really wasn't that impressed. Like I did my lessons privately with somebody from
school.
Through school, and then I did, and then after that I did it with somebody that was an old church playing lady, and to go up to say if it was a couldn't tell you because I hadn't done it before, but when I did it when I put my daughter in it, I'm telling you, I was not impressed.
Yeah. So I had growing up, for me, it all depended on the teacher. Like, to be honest, like a lot of those teachers are either the teacher's like a super nerdy, awesome, like out of the world, like kind of just very like maybe hippie-ish, or they're like the standard preacher's wife who's a snot bag who just wants to yell at you and tell you about where your hands are. So, like, I'm not jiving with the one, obviously, but I'm jiving with the other one. Yeah. And for me, even with, like, that was always the thing, so.
Yeah, I think for some people, like, if you're going to be a concert pianist, then you're probably going to want to go with the conservatory.
Well, yeah, because then you have it on paper, right?
Yeah, or if even, like, if you're a very, like, you like things structured, and you like like if you're the kind of person that pulls off 95s in school and studies really hard, you might jive with that whole conservatory thing because it's more structured. But my thing, and the way I try to do my lessons is like we'll go through a book, but I'm looking for their learning style. I have all sorts of kids. Like I have an autistic guy. I have kids that I'm pretty sure have ADD. I have ADD. So like, and but then the big thing is this learning by doing thing. So we always have like, well, we have like an end of year project we did last year. Mm-hmm. We recorded this song. I put different words to "Hooked on Feeling" by Blue Sweet.
Oh yeah, Hooked on Feeling.
It's called
that's by Cardi B, right?
That's not by Cardi B.
Cardi B,
no.
Yeah. And I like arranged the parts for all the kids. I teach a bunch of different instruments, so we did this whole thing. So like we put our energy toward, doing something. Mm-hmm. And I have some ideas going forward. Too. I want to make a band. Mm-hmm. This is my like big idea that I want to launch next month. Is I want to have a band. So so this band is gonna like record some of the songs that I've been writing and some other songs live off the floor. We're gonna have like some skilled adult musicians and some skilled, older musicians, but then also invite a bunch of kids to just kind of come in and like strum along and learn the way I learned, which is by doing right. Yeah. I like getting back to the piano thing. Like when I quit piano, thankfully my parents had the foresight to buy me a guitar, and it sat around for about a year. But then a youth pastor of mine, John Boyacek, came over and taught me a few chords, and then let me play along with him at our church kids club thing. Mm-hmm. So I'd be there with him every week, strumming along. Like he was kind of leading the thing, but I was just kind of tagging along. And then in the summer, he got me to do some like summer camp stuff, and before you know it, I knew how to play guitar. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of thing I want to give that opportunity to kids. So more so than the conservatory. I do think like, for certain learning types and for certain applications, it's the thing, but it's not my thing. It's, I want to get in there and like, and the other thing with that whole, like when we were kids, more people would sit down for like a half an hour and practice just because they were told to. Yep. Mm-hmm. Or just for the sake of discipline.
Absolutely.
And that's fallen by the wayside, like for better or for worse. Like, and it's not just the kids, like the parents won't enforce that. Mm. So like it's a different world in that regard. So rather than fight that, I push my kids to practice. But I want them to want to practice.
Yeah.
I want to ignite that passion in them that they're like getting in the woodshed and just like grinding because they really want to learn this song we've been working on.
Yeah, that's sorry to interrupt. So I know for me, Ernie and I, we grew up playing music as well. I grew up playing trumpet and Ernie grew up playing trombone, but Ernie can play every bloody thing. But when we did private lessons, like we practiced every week. We had to practice for an hour, and like it was every day. Sorry, not every week, but every day we practiced for like an hour or so. And if we went back to our lesson and it didn't seem like we practiced, we got heck and we got yelled at, and it wasn't fun. And it was like what's the means to the ends here? And there was no means to the ends. And for every single person that took music as a kid, you'd always have that end of year concert, and that was the big charade. But it was like, whoop did he do? But if I had like something that I was maybe passionate about, and he goes, hey, what do you want to play? Or like, what's something you're into? Or like at the end of it, maybe like what you're putting together is like this concert where these people can come and play, like the kids can come and play with these adults and be part of something cool where they like get recorded on a CD. Like that's
yeah. But what about Kiwanis? We did Kiwanis.
I hated Kiwanis.
I made money on Kiwanis.
Yeah, because you're a killer.
Dollar bills.
Yeah, because you're a killer. But like other kids who were that, I was a nervous wreck going up to Kiwanis. Like I'd be throwing up in the bathroom, and like I'd be up against these other kids that were giant nerd fests, and like it just wasn't my. Did you do Kiwanis, Ben?
No, I was in a small town. If we had that, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, maybe it was just like I don't know.
That chord he just played just made me think there was Jason in the background.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, we
That's a Cardi
we would
B
do the
song,
stupid Kiwanis. I hated it. I hated Kiwanis, and I mentioned that.
But it was something you could look forward to at the end of the thing.
Oh yeah, I was looking forward to standing in front of this guy.
Were you Ben? Were you somebody that could sit down and like practice and like not have to feel like you'd have like the gun to your head or the taser on your back to say sit and practice for that half an hour? Were you somebody that could do that?
Not in like the early piano days. That's why I quit.
Yeah,
I wasn't excited about that. Although like it's hard to remember. That was a long time ago. I think I started when I was 3 and quit when I was 11. So that was that was a long time ago. I do remember that I could play for Elise, and I remember I was excited about that. So maybe to a degree I could sit down and practice, but eventually, I have no attention span.
Do you think it was like the music itself, like it was a song you liked, or do you think it was like the fact that you kind of, I know you're still young, but it was something that you enjoyed and you can kind of see yourself enjoying for a while?
Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, that's the other thing about that like whole method is like kids don't listen to classical music.
Yeah, we did. We were forced to. Jesus,
yeah, but
Murphy.
The very first song that I learned on the piano wasn't classical.
Ode to Joy?
No, I learned Lion King.
No way.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I did Toyland,
and let me tell you, I felt the love tonight.
I did Toyland. Toyland, something, Toyland. I'm like, I don't want to go to Toyland. I'm gonna get eaten alive by a nutcracker. Like, I don't want anything to do with the noise. But I don't know. Just saying. So, you got.
I'm trying to play. I just can't wait to be king.
I just can't wait to be king.
That's not the one I played.
Yeah, that's a different version.
That's from the new version.
So you got a guitar, and then you played in church and stuff. And the pastor was helping you. So what happened after that?
Oh, well, then it was high school band. So again, I'm being influenced by like getting an opportunity to do stuff because high school band, you guys were probably part of that, eh?
Oh my God!
Every single band.
I was exactly. Band nerd.
And I mean, I don't know what everyone else's school is like, but my music program in my town was pretty great. We had one of those teachers that I think you could make a movie about, like that, like Mr. Holland's Opus kind of deal.
That's cool.
Ours had a mental breakdown in the middle of class.
I don't even remember how that movie went.
She got so mad. Sorry, she got so mad. It's a funny story. She got so mad she broke down as she blamed the class. That's why she said it's all your fault. You stressed me out. You're the reason I'm not married.
Oh my God.
We're like I don't know. I don't know. Look in the mirror. There might be other reasons.
You know what's sad though? As like a grown up, I can almost relate with like the stress that she was probably feeling.
Oh,
I was watching the new Mary Poppins movies with my kids recently, and have you guys seen that?
Not the
new one.
No. But like, so there's the guy, the dad, and he was like this guy who was an artist, and he was just stressed out by life and he was crabby, but you could tell like inside of him was this like guy that was like arty and loved Mary Poppins. And I was
scandal.
Yeah.
Mrs. Poppins was.
Oh, well, no, not that way. I
mean, things about to get popping with Mrs. Poppins.
No.
What you got in that bag?
Just like,
I'd take a spoonful of that sugar.
Anyway, sorry, Ben. Sorry.
He was whimsical. Like
okay.
But the pressures of life had kind of sucked it out of him.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I'm there, like totally there, but I can. It's funny when art kind of resembles your life, and you're like, man, I'm like really close to that some days.
It's definitely it's the life of the artist. Like I remember as a kid, I wanted to be a trumpet player. That's what I wanted to do. I want to play jazz trumpet. I wanted to be a trumpet player. And this crabby guy who I was in band with, I remember I used to call him the sneezer because this guy would sneeze and he wouldn't cover his face and he just like explode everywhere. He goes, so he was like this crabby old guy and I was like a 12, 13-year-old guy. He's like, so what are you going to do with your life? I'm like, you know what? I want to play trumpet.
You know what? I'm going to get a fucking
and
Kleenex.
And he said to me, well, I'm going to give you advice. Start learning how to say, hey, buddy, can you spare some change? And I was
Whoa!
I was like, what? And as an adult now, I'm kind of thinking like F that guy. Like I hope that guy got into like a car accident or something.
Yeah.
Like, geez, man, like way to like Mr. Cloud over his head. Like, but you know, that lifestyle as being a musician, you're not making cash. You're it's like unless you're like top, you know, if you're like one of those studio musicians or something, or you're playing like one of those big orchestras, you're not making like big cash. But you know, music's music, but you shouldn't like poop on some kid's dreams, but you know, reality. So.
Yeah, no. I mean, you gotta hold that in.
Yeah.
So when you were
we had a great high school music teacher. He was a bit crabby too, and if he was listening to this, he wouldn't contest that fact. I think he was kind of proud of his his icy demeanor. But he was once you were like one of the band kids, I think he didn't have a lot of patience for anyone else in the school or even like the grade 9s. But once you were like part of his music crew, like you were his kids.
Cool.
And yeah, we had a pretty good thing. We had like it wasn't band nerds extended to every social group in the high school.
Oh. Cool.
So it was a pretty cool thing, and we were pretty good. I mean, I'd love to hear a tape now because maybe we weren't that good. But at the time, it seemed like we were really good, and I got chills quite a few times.
Sweet.
And he got us into cool music. Like, he's the reason I listened to, like, he's the reason I got like a Chase record. Have you ever heard of Chase?
No.
You're a trumpet player.
No. Oh.
Dude, listen to.
Oh, the band Chase or the guy Chase?
No, the band Chase. Well, it's a dude, Bill Chase, but he's got a band.
You'll have to chase that one down.
Four trumpet players, like in the vein of like Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, that kind of thing. Like
okay.
he got me into them. He got me into like we did a Stevie Wonder medley. We watched Blues Brothers in class.
Oh, I love Blues Brothers.
And did a Blues Brothers medley. So like the one side of it was the community, which was amazing, and then the other side of it got me into great music, and I learned how to play the trombone and the baritone and the tuba, and learned how to play walking bass lines in our jazz band.
Well, let's see. I knew I liked you, but now I know why.
Yeah,
because that was my instrument ever since I was 8. That was the instrument I picked up.
Trombone.
Which one? Oh,
trombone. Yeah. But I know when I was in high school, our band. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt your song. I knew in high school.
Hey, sorry, I'll interrupt your story for a second. You know what this is like? The idea for this came from. You ever watch Randy Bachman's Vinyl Tap?
No.
Or listen to it? It's a radio show. I listen to a lot of CBC radio.
And they play music.
He's a guy from like the Guess Who, right?
Yeah.
PTO. He just sits there with his guitar plugged into the soundboard and just like doodles while he's talking on the radio. But anyways, continue your story.
I was just gonna say, so I know my high school, like the band itself, we didn't really go and do a whole lot, but I know the band that Jeremy played in, and I played in a bunch because I went to 2 different high schools, and the same deal. The teachers were awesome. Like once they knew that you knew how to play and you weren't there to screw around. And I had one teacher that actually recommended me to go play for the junior symphony in KW Symphony, but I actually went to hear Jeremy play the one time when you were at Preston, and you guys had a really, really good jazz band.
Yes, because of me.
They were so bloody good. Like there was, we actually brought, my mom brought friends of hers with them to hear them because they had Marion Best.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, she came and she's just like, she was there. I think she was there and somebody else was there, and they all came out. And you know me, like I know music and I've heard it before. I'm like, yeah, they missed that note. And that was kind of flat, but like it did sound really, really good. And a lot of people said, you know, they should go out and play somewhere else because you guys had an amazing band.
Was that the time where like they had me do a solo with the principal? Mm-hmm. So the principal was like this amazing jazz saxophone player, and my teacher knew that I was like, so just give people a bit of background. I was like 6 years old, and like playing.
Sorry, can we stop?
I was 6 years old playing trumpet. I was way ahead of my deal. So in grade 7 and 8, when I got introduced to music, when all the kids were just getting introduced, I was way ahead. I was like, they're just playing like basic scales, like a C scale. I was doing cycle of fifths. I was doing like jazz trumpet. I was way ahead. So like, by the time I hit high school, that's what I was. I was the trumpet guy. That was what I was. I had a trumpet. I played trumpet really well. So I was in grade 9 playing in the jazz band that was like for seniors, and I was just ripping scales along with this like this really rad vice principal. It was just a cool time. I like jazz. Jazz is my thing. I like jazz.
Well, yeah, you actually, what was that other teacher after Walter? Like the regimental guy? Yeah, he was really good.
Well, he still is really good. He's a really good trumpet player. But that's, anyway, just like schools and stuff and teachers and... So what kind of music did you listen to growing up besides, like, obviously we all grew up listening to, like, church music, but I know you talked about in high school, like, when did you start getting into, like, punk music and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was in like I grew up like my family doesn't listen to a lot of like, you know, I didn't grow up listening to the radio a lot. Like I didn't have like a dad with like a sweet like collection of Zeppelin records or whatever.
Yeah, neither did we. He had Roxette.
Yeah.
Dad, if you're listening to this, Roxette sucks because Dad listens to the my dad listens to the podcast and he's always like, oh, hey son, I should do some intro music with Roxette. Dad, take your Roxette music and put it in a fire.
Listen to your heart and listen to my fart.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben, keep going.
So like at a young age it was stuff I heard in church and like Christian bands and I did listen to the radio, right? But in high school, like I mentioned the band stuff, so all that stuff, the classics. But then I also had a pretty rad group of friends who got me into all sort of stuff. It was like when I was in grade 9 was like the Napster days, right? Yeah. It's when like people started using Napster.
Yep.
And so downloading music. So illegal. And illegal. So we listened to a lot of punk stuff. That was kind of probably my first thing was punk, and then. My friends were pretty eclectic, so some random stuff in there, some oddball stuff. Like remember, like "Push the Little Daisies" by Ween was on my list. And I'm just trying to think of random songs. Chewbacca, What a Wookie. You remember that?
No.
Just thinking of Chewbacca, What a Wookie. I can't even tell. Oh, Nerf Herder. I think
Nerf Herder. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of random songs I had on Napster, but like so basically a lot of punk and stuff of that vein, and then just weird stuff, and then this like Chicago and stuff from, and then I don't know, like it's just blew up from there. But that was the early stuff.
So like, you've always played guitar. Is that your main instrument? Because like I think you taught me piano. But did you keep up the piano?
Yeah, I went back to piano. I would still say I'm best at guitar and acoustic guitar specifically. I never really got into electric and all the pedals and sounds. What I like about acoustic guitar is you can kind of be a full band, and piano is kind of the same if you can play it really well. Like you kind of have the low and the high, and you can be rhythmic with it. When I was in high school, I was like starting to write songs and did this kind of Tenacious D-ish type stuff. So it's like very influenced by like Jack Black and the Foo Fighters.
You were fighting you were fighting the devil with your music, with your rock.
Yeah, exactly. So rocking out on the acoustic guitar was my thing. So it still is. I've expanded since then, but that would be ukulele's probably like one of my favorite things now.
Yeah, we can tell. Is that what you played in high school?
What?
The ukulele is what you played during high school. Sorry, man, I can't hear you when you do that. Is that what you played in high school? Was guitar?
No, I didn't start.
You played trombone and baritone and that in high school band, you said?
High school band. I just, as far as the brass instruments, I just kind of got moved across the back row depending on the need. So I think I started on trombone, and then in like grade 10 got moved to baritone, and then to tuba. And as you probably know, there's not a huge learning curve moving from those.
No, just the embouchure when you're switching from the tuba to baritone.
Embouchure is how you use your mouth. People don't know. So people don't know.
Yeah, so basically you have a smaller mouthpiece is what you use for the trombone and the baritone. They use the same thing. Basically, a baritone is it's basically an upright trombone, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very close.
I didn't know that.
It's got like a little bit of a different sound, and often is given like really melodic parts, eh?
Yeah, they've got a lot more of the,
But it's very similar to trombone.
They kind of take over when you don't have a bass clarinet, basically. That's what I always find. And then if you turn it sideways to turn it into a marching instrument, that is a euphonium, or is that a what's it called?
I don't know.
I played the bloody thing. Anyways, but if you turn it sideways, then you would play it would be marching then, because the bell would be facing forward. I played it in a band in the air.
All that marching stuff threw me off. Like,
I loved it.
Yeah, no. But like the different trumpets, there's like different trumpets. Like there's like soprano, alto, like there's different.
There's just a tenor one is a regular trumpet, like when you see it in the store, right?
Yeah.
It's called a tenor trumpet, right?
Yeah, in the bass class.
So when the ones you're saying, are they different because they play in a different
higher octave, and it's just set up differently?
Same clef though, like the same when you have like, because you have like the treble clef and the bass clef, right?
Yeah. Let's think of it like a different saxophones. Like there's a bass sax, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the same kind of thing, but when you get into those complicated, like, so I was in this thing called brass act, and it was basically an offshoot of these marching bands, these guys that have been marching bands for years. These like the Royals or something, the Kitchener Waterloo Royals or something, or like the Red or the Blue Devils or something.
Royal Airs?
The Royal Airs, yeah. So these marching bands, when the guys would get too old, they went into these older bands.
Are you talking about Scout House?
Yes, so kind of like it's
same
like an
deal,
offshoot of
same
Scout
deal?
House and stuff, like marching and
they're
stuff.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They are really good.
But it gets really complicated, and the guys get like, they're pretty heavy. Like, especially trumpet players, we all have big heads. Like we're egotistical, and like we want to play first.
But a lot of them were really good. Like they would go to like on cruise ships and play, and some of them would.
Yeah. See, my thing's jazz. So, but so Ben, I'm trying to think now. So we just did high school, and then so you obviously kept guitar up, and then you I remember that's how we met. Like I remember I was in my first night. I was in college. We did like this orientation night, and there was like a band up playing. Ben was up singing and playing, and I went up to him afterwards. I said, "Man, that was rad." I was like, "That was so cool."
Was he playing Cardi B?
I don't know. Cardi B wasn't around back then. That was like 10 years ago. Cardi B was still dancing for dollar bills, I think.
Okay. She was shaking it for dollar bills.
Yeah, she was. So you...
Cardi B.
What kept... I don't know why Ernie keeps bringing up Cardi B.
Ass.
What kept up the guitar and like playing like worship music and moving forward like in college?
Church music was like, as far as me playing, it wasn't really part of the story at that point. Like I was kind of at a somewhat old school, not really old school, but not like worship teams weren't really a thing at my church yet. So aside from playing with the kids with my youth pastor, that wasn't really a thing. And then when I got to college, like the first couple years, like the whole thing about like strumming guitars and singing those, like I wasn't really into it. Didn't really have anything against it. It just like wasn't really something I was interested in. But I just like to have sing-alongs in the dorm.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, wander around. Like my guitar was so beat up, I'd like drag it around and like bring it to the community center, and just like that was more my thing, just having sing-alongs. But I got pulled in because somebody asked me to put together a band for our like annual missionary conference.
Yeah, Mich Conference.
And so this was my second year, the year before J.A.M came, and so I put together a band, but I didn't even make myself part of it because I just like I wasn't even interested. Like it wasn't. I had nothing against it. I just had no interest. But then my buddy Tom, who's a good friend of mine now, actually lives in Chatham here. and he pulled me in. He made me be part of the band, and then kind of pulled me into that. And so my in, I've always liked stuff that's a little different. So what I liked about it was that it was like missionary stuff. It was like people from other countries, and we started learning songs from different languages. And so we like had Swahili song and French song and Turkish song. And so that's what kind of got me into that. I still don't love like the music. I'm still not particularly inspired by the music that's played in church.
Yeah.
Other than I love God, so like I'll sing anything to him. But like I prefer it to be rad music.
Yeah.
But the missionary stuff, the fact we could be like a little different. Plus it's college. Like you know, people aren't as like you can kind of let loose a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we got a good thing going with that band for a few years. We led a lot of worship, and so that's how that kind of got started.
Yeah, I can attest. You guys did a really good job. That was a lot of fun to listen to and just experience.
Is that all you did with your music then? During college, like you didn't start to teach anybody like to play guitar while you were at college?
You taught me how to play piano.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, not formally.
No.
I don't even remember that I taught you to play piano.
Yeah. I was like, we were like sitting around drinking coffee, and I think, did you have keys to the main building or something at one point?
Maybe I don't
not.
think so. I think anyone could get in there with a swipe card, right?
Yeah. So we were just sitting around. It was probably like 12 o'clock at night, and I'm just like, man, I'd love to play piano. He goes, you want to learn? And he's just like. We just got up and like ran full tilt to like this like probably like you know like probably like a 10-minute like not 10-minute walk, like a 20-second run to like the main building and go into like this big auditorium. Like ran to the front, and then you taught me chords. Like you can play chords on a guitar, so you can play chords on the piano. If you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a wrench. Kind of like an idea. That kind of idea. So that's
if you really wanted to learn, your brother knew how to play piano.
Yeah, but you're a dick teacher, so yeah. That's how I learned piano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
glad we're all in one accord.
Let's fast forward the tape. So you played. Do you still play with that band? Do you guys still get together?
Not right now. We had a little reunion. Like we had a few years ago. We had like about a couple years where we get together almost monthly and like write songs together, and we had grand plans to record them. We did make like rough recordings, and we played a gig, but never really went anywhere. We're just we all lived in different cities, and life's busy, and
kids.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if Jeremy asked you this already or if he said it. What were you going to college for to do what?
I have a Bachelor of Theology. I went to, I guess, be a youth pastor was my original plan. But then just kind of it became more general to pastor, church worker. So I graduated with that, and I have done that professionally a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a pastor. So, and then you moved. So let's see if we can move that into that. Like, so as a pastor, didn't you have that as a church role? Weren't you like the music pastor for a church for like, was it like a year and a half or something?
Yeah, I was at two separate churches doing that, and it usually is mixed with other things. Mm-hmm. So at both churches I worked at, I was in charge of the music. But they're not going to pay you a full-time salary to do that unless it's a really big church. So I worked with the youth too, and did other things. In the case of the first one was just a year. It was in Cambridge, and then the second one was kind of like my first kind of move to a new place and like set down roots. And all of our kids were born there, and I spent 3 years on staff and then 2 years off of staff doing a lot of similar things. But so, yeah, I was in charge of the music, among other things.
What would you say was your experience like being a music pastor?
It was good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, from the musical standpoint, I'm not particularly inspired by the music. Like, it's not that exciting to me. It's not like, it is pretty good. Like, a lot of great production goes into the songs nowadays. Like, it's a whole thing. But it's not my thing. But like I said, I do like singing to God.
Yeah.
I had some freedom to be creative with it. There was some thing, like, not total freedom, but like I got to have some fun with it, and I got to get together with people on a weekly basis and jam out some songs together. At the second church, I don't think it was an intentional mission at the start, but like I ended up having mostly young people on my team. Like, at least more than half of my team was people under 18, and some of whom I had taught from scratch. Like, I had one piano player in particular named Rachel. Like, I started with her when she was like 10 or something, and she like just grabbed hold of it, and it was really cool to see her develop. And
she went on to that TV show Glee, didn't she?
No.
Yeah.
That's a different Rachel. Yeah, pat yourself on the back, Ben.
Yeah, good job. She got a TV gig out of that one. Her boyfriend's not doing too good though.
Oh my God.
That's
a car crash joke. Yeah, real dark. Oh my gosh. Carry on. So you're teaching these kids, and predominantly half the team was youth, which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like, and for so many reasons. Like, I think I'm just naturally inclined to that, but also just because kids are awesome volunteers. Like, adults are so busy and aren't quite as flexible when you throw something different at them. Like, and I like throwing different stuff at people, right? I like to spice it up a bit. And kids were usually down with that. And so it just kind of was something that happened somewhat naturally. And I think partially inspired what I'm trying to do now, which is saying, hey, I can like, and hearkening back to my childhood and remembering, hey, like, if I give kids a platform to start working out their music skills, this could be something really cool.
Yeah.
So when you were doing it at the church, did you have like it was your program to run?
Yeah.
Did you have like
more or less. Did
they give you guidelines like, say, these are the songs we want you to teach? No Cardi B. Like, stick to the curriculum. Please don't go making up your own songs. Like, was it very regimental? Like, that seems like it would kind of take the wind and the piss out of it for me if that was the case.
Yeah. I don't know. You have guidelines, more not even based on like, I don't think I was ever laid out, you have to do this and you have to do that, but like, just based on the culture of the place you're at, you just kind of know what's gonna fly. So if you look at it from a positive perspective, like, it's just you read your audience, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they're not into Cardi B, you're not gonna play Cardi B.
Or you could play like Jesus Loves Little Children to like a Little John track or something.
Yeah, but yeah. So there were limitations. I mean, it was like there's limitations at both. The first place I was at, I'd say, was a little bit like they had their culture, and you kind of like it was kind of set in stone, and they wanted you to kind of fit into that. Mm-hmm. And the second place was more like they still had a lot of the hang-ups from like we like the way things were in the old days, and make sure you get in all that old stuff. And so there was stuff that you had to work around. I mean, like, some of that I like, to be honest. Like I learned a lot musically from like, there was this lady J.A.M. So she was like a volunteer of mine from day one, and she's a couple decades older than I am. It is like kind of the country gospel style, like that would be her comfortable style. And she's a great vocalist and a good piano player, and just a great heart, just like kind of like, so, but she was like from a completely different world musically, and we try to play together. And like when she tried to play like syncopated, like kind of modern stuff, like she couldn't get her head around it, but she wanted to. And then when I tried to play like the country gospel stuff, it was like one thing that we like had to figure out together was that, like, you know, modern music, like everyone plays to a click now, and it's all like boom, 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 right? And like that older music, like there was like natural push and pull to it. It's like classical, right? It's like you can say that it's like 75 beats per minute, but it's not going to be on the click the whole song, right? Nope. You're going to push and pull. It's part of the dynamics of the whole thing.
That's actually sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but actually it's funny you say that, because I've been getting into DJing, and the older songs, kind of like Sweet Home Alabama, or when you get into like the really old ones like disco, when you go to beat match a song from one to the other, the beats will say they're like 130 or 120. They're not. They're all over the map. So you'll set the next track that you're going to play, say you just kind of set it to 120, and the Sweet Home Alabama's at 120. You're going to intro them, and you're going to start them at the same time, but the beats are not going to be the same, because it's not digital. I can't think of the name of it, but they're not. They were recorded.
Not quantized.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I don't think they recorded. I don't know when they started using clicks regularly in the studio, but it wasn't like I heard it. I watched an interesting video of a guy. So listened to some raw tracks of John Bonham drumming, and then just for fun quantized them, like put them right on the beat, and then like played both side by side. And the original one, like, you just can't beat that original feel. It's not like he didn't have a sense of rhythm, right? It's not like he couldn't play to a click if he wanted to, but he just like he was just oozing with feel.
Yeah,
right?
it's not off by much. Yeah.
But yeah, some old songs. I think it's September by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yep.
I heard like it speeds up so much by the end.
Yep. When you try and fade that into like We Are Family or something like that, you're just like, why the hell is this not synchronizing? And you're like, you're trying to beat match, and the lines are kind of like zigzagging back and forth just the slightly where you're kind of getting that click, 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 where they just don't match because, I don't know, this track did a little bit more ecstasy or cocaine than the other track did, or this one didn't do enough, and they're trying to get them to match.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's weird. I've never even heard of that.
But that's just music. So learning different styles. So I was in a culture I wasn't completely comfortable with from a style perspective, but I learned some things from it. And I mean, I'm trying to make it rosy. I'm trying not to go down a negative road. Like I had a lot of frustrations there too. But I don't know. It was great.
Yeah, you can always learn a lot from the hard stuff. That's like
you do. You learn a lot more from what you struggle with than what went well.
If everything's easy and runny, like if everything's like sunny skies and lollipops, you don't learn anything, and then once that dark day comes, you fall apart.
I know. I've learned a lot from really junky gigs for DJing, like where things didn't go right, and now you're just like, I know exactly what to look for if it goes wrong. I know exactly how to fix it.
Well, the mind works with music really interesting. Like I know for me, learning a new instrument in the last year, I've been doing snare drum for pipe band. And Ben knows my drumming history.
Oh man, yeah, I love your drumming, man.
I'm like,
you should hear his neighbors how much they love it.
So like I'm like I have like an unorthodox style that keeps the beat, but it's not like trained. But now I'm doing better. I take lessons and stuff. But yeah, I'm getting better now.
It was more jazzy.
Well, Ben, give him an example of what it used to be like when I was doing drums.
Yeah, like in my mind, Jer would get up there on like the chapel team, and so they'd be like strumming. It's like, you know, typical 4-chord song in 4/4 time, and like I don't even know what you were doing. Like I was just sitting there in the audience, thinking like, trying to figure out if this guy knew what he was doing or not. Like because it sounded. To me, and I think I'm correct in this now, knowing you. I think it was somebody that is very musical who doesn't really play drums.
Nope. No, that was.
And so you were just
on the drums?
Yeah.
You don't play drums?
I know.
Did you tell them that you did?
I did. They came up to me in the cafeteria and said, "Hey, do you play drums?" I said, "Yeah, I can play drums. I kit drums.
You play drums as well as Travis Baker can make you a fondue."
like in front of like a whole.
Oh, I bet.
Building.
You don't have a problem getting in front of the building. It's the.
So every single song, we usually play the same thing. Yeah. Made everything up. Everything was made up.
Yeah.
On the beat.
And I friggin' loved it. Like.
Was it like a march beat? Tap this one twice. Tap this one once.
Well, I'd like do fills and stuff and like.
Yeah, I mean, if you're musical, you can figure out what to do on a drum.
Right. Once you know the tempo, if you can get the tempo of a song, you can kind of fake it till you make it. But
yeah.
Oh, I would have paid to see that.
But I mean, if someone who's like a musician is sitting there in the audience, they know you're faking.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Now I know, now knowing what I know now about drumming and like hand position and like just knowing like how to actually play mind you, it's just snare. It's not.
That's marching snare though. That's a little different than how those guys play it.
Yeah, but I could adapt that to a kit easy enough.
I don't know. You're not gonna bang a.
Whatever. Anyway,
sideways.
So it was like I had a lot of fun, and they didn't like want like a degree in drumming or anything. But
yeah,
it was just it was a hoot though.
But, yeah, I appreciate it. It spiced it up for me.
Yeah. I think I spiced it up for me too.
What's that guy look like? He's having a seizure or he's hitting the drums?
No, I was doing like these weird drum fills and like I don't know. Anyway,
so you got.
I was so confused because like I knew you had a guitar. Like I might have known by that point you played trumpet and like bagpipes, right? You played bagpipes.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I was like, I mean, he maybe he's just really unorthodox. What do I know?
I shouldn't even said anything. Like that's my style, bro.
I'm classically trained.
Yeah, this is a jazz style from like the southwest.
Yeah. You wouldn't understand.
You don't get it. You don't get it. It's in the clubs, bro.
Yeah.
There's too much smoke.
I can't explain this to anybody.
Yeah. It's too deep.
It's an acquired taste.
Oh gosh. Anyway. Back to it. What were we talking about?
So you were in two situations that were kind of and then it seems like now you've kind of found your groove and find like what you're passionate about. What kind of I don't know. It seems like it's more enlightening to what you want to do personally now, musically, right?
Yeah. Like the whole idea was to find something that was. Yeah, what I was kind of made to do, right? What turned me on? What I think I was gifted to do. But there's been a struggle in that because that was 4.5 years ago that like I quit my church job and then decided I was going to pursue something like this. Mm-hmm. But then like because I have a family to support, because I have bills to pay, I got another job and then have kind of. And the stage my kids are at too. Like I've got kids. One just turned 7, one's 4, one's 2. So 4 years ago, one was just born. Like anyway, that whole stage, like it's been tough to figure out what to exactly do with it. Like so, I've got involved in some stuff like kind of grassroots. Like all along, I've been involved in kids' music to a degree. But as far as the overarching goal and the starting a business and like let's monetize this, let's like really go at it and spend a lot of time and energy. I mean, that's starting to happen this fall. I'm starting to get some things rolling on that, but that's been a slog. That's
yeah. It's kind of funny though the path you were saying you were taking, because mine kind of went very kind of similar to it, because I was gonna go to school to teach music at high school, and but my main drawback was I hated
school
theory and I hated school with a passion. So when I went to Mohawk for a year, and I did about 4 months, and I was like, I hate theory. I don't want to ever have to transpose anything. I'm like, that's what software is for. They have programs on the internet for this, and they're just like, no, you're gonna need this, and then you're gonna have to go to teachers college. I'm like, how long is this program? They're like, this is a year, and then you've got another 3 years. No, I just did the intro, because I had to upgrade my English, so that this was gonna help. So I was like, "This is only a year." They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "How much longer I got?" They're like, "About 6 months." I'm like, "Yep, peace. I'm out." So then
You bailed out, eh?
Yep.
Dropout.
I did not. It was not what I wanted to do, and I was beginning to hate it. I really was. So I was just like, you know what? No, I'll keep music on the back burner, but I'll get something else. And I've always played in bands. Like even when I was in high school, I wasn't really into the high school bands. I was part of the Army Cadets, and I would in the summers I would go away for like 3 months.
Oh yeah, you do those
I
giant
love
tattoos
that, and
stuff?
you would go to I got to go play at a Giant Tattoo. I got to go play in Ottawa. I got to play on Breakfast Television in Toronto.
Oh,
I got to do a whole bunch of things, and you got to play with the Cenotaph band in Ottawa. So like the guys that march around with the guns and that, like we got to go rehearse where they played, and we got to play with them. I got a chance to go play with, but this was all stuff that had nothing to do with me trying to teach. Like it was, and I got another opportunity to go play with the Junior Symphony Orchestra, which led into the KW Symphony Orchestra, which was boring as heck because you only played like maybe 10 bars and the rest of it was the bloody violins.
The funny story with that is like Ernie asked us all to go and watch him play, and so like halfway through the orchestra, all of a sudden you just see like the trombones just like packing up and leaving, and then the rest of the band's playing. You're like, oh, where he's going? He's like, and Ernie beat us home. He's like, I
called him. I was in my pajamas at home.
Yeah, I was already at home because I stopped playing.
Bring me a burger. They're like, we just got out. You're not here. I'm like, no, I went home.
Already done.
I went home about an hour and a half ago.
The rest of those strings and flutes, they gotta finish up the chord.
But yeah, no, I was always playing with different things, and then, I kind of re-brought it up. We have a guy coming on the podcast, I think next week. He helped me introduce to DJing. I started doing it on my own for about a year and a bit, and I'm just like, you know what? It's not me playing right now. I still have the trombone. I still enjoy it. I still love playing it. But you know what? It's still involving with music, which I love. I'm getting out and I'm performing in front of other people. I'm not really performing. I'm playing everybody else's music. But I'm playing the music that people want to hear, making people happy, making people dance. It's a lot of fun. It pays really well. I can do it with DJ lights because I love DJ lights. And nice. Maybe further down the line this could turn into a full-time gig if I wanted it to. But for now, it's a nice little side gig, nice little side hustle, and I still get to be involved with music. I get to meet some really, really odd and interesting people and some really great businesses too, which open up some stuff.
Well, if people remember our 19th podcast, we had 586 events. And they're the guys that have that business, like entertainment business. They came on, and basically, if you listen to that podcast, people that don't know, that was basically an interview for Ernie to get another job. Yeah, they basically came on, and we were just talking with them. Ernie had been affiliated with them a while, and knew that Ernie was DJing his own events and our own
for about 2 years.
Then they were like, "Hey, you're a good DJ. We know who you are musically as a musician. Do you want to come work for us?"
And we also went to school with them too as well. So that was too. So they knew me personally as well, and so I've recently started DJing with them as well. So I now work with them.
Like these high class events, these events where they were like, "Hey, Ernie, we're gonna buy you a new suit because you need to look like the part."
Oh, dude, you should see these venues. So you go in and you we did our wedding and being a part of Jeremy's wedding, and I've been to a part of I think one more. I can't think of the name of them right now, but anyway, so I was part of theirs, and you're just like looking. No offense, but when you go to these places and you're like, I know how much this place costs.
Yeah.
Like they have like wedding coordinators that cost like $10,000, and that's just for the wedding coordinator.
Yeah, that's
like ridiculous. It is insane, but it's really
business.
cool.
The wedding business is a business. So.
It's just like printing money.
Yeah.
But it's
DJing is.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
DJing is fun though, eh?
Oh, dude.
And to a degree, you're like almost. I mean, well, you're working the crowd for sure, but even the DJ equipment, it's almost like playing an instrument when you're trying to.
Yes and no.
A little
yes
bit.
And no.
Can be. I mean, not as much as it was like in the early days of
trombone.
But when you're like trying to beat match songs and figure out stuff that's gonna work and keep the crowd going, I've done it at a very minor level. Did a few weddings and stuff. But.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. You could do it at a minor level if you just had a laptop and some speakers, but it's not gonna be as clean. Like I've learned this from being taught by these guys to go up to their standards. What I was doing before was just like was paint by numbers compared to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Seems a little intense.
Like, they want you to paint a Picasso, where I was just kind of like, my thumb goes on the red paint.
Oh my gosh, Ernie.
Well, I'm just no. You mean like basic, like basic.
Yeah, it was very, very simple. Yeah, it's interesting that you've always kept in music though.
Like I can turn my hand into a turkey.
Like for me, like I've always been in music, and now I just I'm doing drums. Like it's always part of it.
But you were in the bagpipes for a long time. That took you all over the map.
So that's something to be said too. Is like music takes kids places. Would you agree, Ben?
It opens a lot of doors. Opens a lot of doors.
Yeah, I got to travel to Montreal, like Toronto. I don't know where else.
What did you do in Montreal?
It was just one of those like national music festivals for high school bands, I think.
We got to go to Wonderland. That was the extent of ours.
Yeah, I know with the pipe band for me, like I played at Mount Rushmore. So they have like this big, they have like this like stadium thing underneath Mount Rushmore.
Is that with the stone guys?
Yeah, the Faces.
Oh, okay.
And we also were the first non-military band to play at Lake Louise in Alberta.
Who's she?
Yeah,
you've gone places.
Yeah, and then we also did the Calgary Stampede. So I did the Calgary Stampede parade. And we also went to this place in Montana. It was like this like horse
steakhouse.
Thing. No, not Montana Steakhouse. And then like that kind of stuff's cool. As like a kid, like you're a young kid, and like you're just like at this amazing place, and what brought you there was this really cool awesome hobby you had to like play music.
And you were 18, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could drink.
Well, not in the States, you couldn't drink. In a pipe band, it's a different. This is the cool thing too. Is like different bands have like different I guess like tribes, I guess you could say. So like growing up, we were in the classical band. We played like orchestral music. Everybody's snooty, everybody's snotty.
Not my section. My section was always awesome.
But then if you move to like the marching band, bands, the guys are like a little bit more edgy and like really into stuff. And then if you go to like a jazz band, it's like a whole different era. And if you go to like pipe band, for instance, it's like we're all nerds, but it's a level of nerds. My wife told me that. She goes, you guys are all just nerds anyway. So I'm like, but it's just like these levels of different people and different music genres bring a different type of a tribe of a person. Like pipe band's a completely different crew. Like they're just like these we're like pretty hardcore dudes and everything's like it's almost like militaristic, but not. But it's pretty lazy going. But like if you don't have the beat and if you don't have the music, so. All pipe band music's mental. Like you have to memorize everything. There's no paper music. It's not sitting in front of one of those stands. Like everything's up in your head and everything's in there, and you got to be able to be walking on beat, on tempo, especially with the bagpipes. And even like now, mind you, like snare drum is awesome, but it's super easy.
Did you ever march when you were in? Did you march with a trumpet jar?
Yeah.
Did you have to memorize your music?
No, I had the one.
You didn't have to memorize it. You had the lyre.
Had one of those attached little things.
Oh, did you? I memorized it because mine would be bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, but because you memorize everything. We're totally taking over this podcast. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I
forgot you guys were like big time band guys. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Music opens up a lot of doors, and I think that's honestly more than just I want my daughter to play like an instrument. I just saw how many things I got to do because I was part of that band. I would hate for her to miss out on something like that. Like, is that something that you're thinking, like, with your kids, that you're just kind of like, you know what, guys, this is something really interesting. Like, you obviously don't want to force them to jump into it because then they're just not going to want to do it, like you said. But is that something that you're doing with your kids right now?
Yeah, like, so in my house, we've got a room that's full, like the room I'm sitting in right now is our music room. Yeah, and it's got all sorts of instruments in it. And my kids just wander in here and pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest has asked me on a few occasions to give her lessons in I think a few different instruments. We did like piano lessons for like a week or two, and then I bought her a ukulele because she we went to the music store and she saw a pink one, so I bought it for her. and so I gave her like ukulele lessons, and I think there was something else. Well, but anyway, I don't know, but I I don't know whether to force it. It's a tough thing, like, because I want them to just want to, and like they're still pretty young, right? Like, so, you know, I know there's like Asian kids that are half their age that can already like play Chopin, but
they're writing the music that you're playing.
Yeah, but like, I don't know how to go about that, but like to me the band thing is the best idea I've ever had, because it's like because I'm teaching lessons too, like they're not totally normal lessons, like I have some cool elements to them, but they are like, you know, your half hour, like let's work through a book and stuff, and so that's great, but the band thing I think is where kids are gonna like hop in and like find this motivation to like work on their skills and get them up to snuff for the band. So that's kind of where I want to take that. And then like, who knows where it's going to go, right? Like I don't have any immediate plans to travel with this band, but you know, it could go there.
Traveling band.
Like, we had an idea. I guess I shouldn't say it publicly on a podcast because it's just an idea. But like we have an idea to get them gigs, right? Like and do different stuff that'll be cool, and obviously record, get a good YouTube game going. Right now, my YouTube game isn't great. It's been more like tinkering and figuring out what works. But I'm gonna get a good YouTube game going. Like I'm sure you guys probably listen to some stuff on YouTube that's like those live off the floor recordings. Like I listen to Scary Pockets, and you know who Wolfpack is?
No.
You guys down with Wolfpack?
Now, who's Wolfpack?
I like the Wolfpack.
Yeah,
they were good wrestlers.
Wolfpack is this this funk band, and they're kind of funny. Like they've always got a sense of humor to things, but like killer musicians, and they bring guys in too. Like some legendary like funk and soul players, and but their albums are recorded live off the floor. And then I think there's some overdubbing and stuff, but the nitty gritty of it is recorded off the floor and then like video recorded, and there's a few others like Scary Pockets that I mentioned, Pomplamoose, which is associated with that, and like. Yeah, like a bunch of others you can listen to, and that's kind of where I got the idea of that, because it's like you show up for the session and you jam it out. I mean, it's going to be a little rawer with kids, right? Yeah. Because we're not quite as polished as studio musicians, but it'll have that fun feel, and then you know I can get some kids on the soundboard too, like and get some kids into the video production, like. I don't want to do all that stuff. I'm a musician. I'm like good at arranging music, and I'm good at like leading sing-alongs, and I'm good at like working with kids, but I'm not good at video. I'm not good at the business side of things. And you know, I could get good. There's a lot of people out there that just like, you know, get good at everything and grind it out. But I want to start building a community around this, like people that would believe in this vision and get excited about this vision that might be good at those things. And then, you know, like there's going to be a kid out there that's like already better than me at making videos, and they have a lot more free time than me. And so if I gave them a platform to make me some cool videos from our songs, like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you
that's
know,
what I want to do.
You could always like get yourself one of those like 1080p GoPros and like set one of them up in the room, right? Or even just get yourself like maybe two of them, and so you have like different angle shots, right? And you just let them run for the whole session that you're doing it. Load them onto a computer, cut and splice, you know, jump onto this side for this part of the song, this side of the room for this side of the song. And you said you know audio, so set yourself up some mics in the room so you're not using the audio from the video, you're using the audio from your mics. And you know, it's a good way to start. Like that's what we're considering doing for we've kind of debated on doing like video for the podcast.
Maybe
We kind of thought about it
in the new year,
and it seems to be the way we could do it. Like the software we're using now that we just kind of learned from our good friends at the Roman Pod and Cast. It's Zoom, and it works really, really nice, and the video is really clear, and the audio is actually what we're using right now for you. I'm pretty happy with it, and just from hearing the podcast, other than me yelling and screaming, being too close to the mic last week.
So I gotta say though, I really enjoy your Chippy song. That's awesome.
Yeah, you listen to that. That was the song that I recorded with my students. That was our end of year project. Mm-hmm. So instead of, again, I'm trying to be different than traditional lessons, right? Yep. So instead of stuffing them all in like in church pews and like kids go up and play a piece on the piano, I said, why don't our recital be, we're going to record a song together. So I arranged that for the different instruments we had, which I think were flute, bass, drums, guitar, and we rocked it out.
What type of instruments are you teaching right now?
So all those I just listed. Guitar, piano, bass, drums, flute. I learned because I was teaching for a guy who asked me, like, you know, if I could. I told him I played like wind instruments, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I have a good ear, so I could figure stuff out. So, anyways, I figured out flute kind of on the fly. He gave me a little bit of advance warning. So, but that was awesome. I mean, that was tough at first. Like the first few lessons, I wasn't a lot better than her. But then I worked at it, and it's getting good. I actually have a video I'm putting out shortly when I get time to edit it with me ripping it on flute with another guy on sax.
You play
jazz flute? Say so myself, it's not terrible.
And then just so people know, that kind of music stuff's right now on Ben's his YouTube account, which is Joyful Awe Music. We're gonna be posting that a link to that.
Is that how you pronounce it? Is Joyful Awe Music?
Yeah.
Okay.
But or J.A.M.
The acronym is J.A.M. But we'll post it. But we'll post it on the Instagram. So going forward, so now this is going to be your baby. Joyful Awe Music is now going to be your little side, your business, and you're gonna
I hope it's not even a side business eventually. But that's the tough part. Like I mentioned, I'm not a business guy. Like I've really gone back and forth on that ever since having this vision a few years ago. Like. Really gone back and forth, like, do I want this to be a business? Do I just want to be a recording artist? Like I really like resisted the idea of like having a business because that's not me. But I think this is the best way to do it. So I got Tom Labonte. He's gonna get in the trenches with me starting in October. And tried to, and I had a meeting at my house recently, just figuring out how we can get a little more active in the community, start up in my lesson game and some other things that like will monetize it, but also get this band going. Crowdfunding is going to be a big part of the story, because that's the way musicians can do stuff, like for people that believe in it, right? So you don't need the forefront thing on your mind doesn't need to be like, is this monetizable? Like you can do something you believe in, which I think the vision I have is something that people will get behind, and so then put it up there and say like, hey, we need to raise some money to make this happen. So I think I'm gonna monetize the lessons, and we can do group lessons. I want to get like a space in town. We got our eyes peeled for like, a little like warehouse space or whatever, something we can turn into a cool studio, and we could have some events there, which would give the kids a platform to play. I mean, that's another thing, thinking about growing up, there was a few places I frequented that were like, small local places that were big enough to have a coffee house or whatever. Like I'd love to be able to host stuff like that. So you can monetize all that side of it, but then, and I could monetize the band too, but I'm thinking that's where the crowdfunding is going to come. It's kind of a shortcut toward being a nonprofit, because I would like to be a nonprofit eventually, probably. I don't know how that stuff all works. But but I know it's a process. But in the meantime, if you're doing the crowdfunding thing, they basically take care of that stuff for you, and you can receive donations. So that's kind of the angle I'm thinking of taking with it, to try to get it so that at least I can go from like having 4 jobs to maybe 2.
Yeah,
that's what I always think of though when I hear not for profit. It's just like, you're not going to make profit.
Well, the problem is,
people can still get a salary working for a non-profit.
That's what CH does. Like, we work for a non-profit organization where at the end of the year, all the money has to go somewhere and not saving it. So we're not making money.
Right.
You're spending it all the whole year.
Yeah.
It's all allotted. So at the end of the year, you end up with this much money left over.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So you're still generating a profit for your
it's a big budget.
Your employees.
So you budget every single thing. Employees have a budget. There's musical instruments.
Yeah. So salaries are part of that budget.
Like for instance, at our job, right now, like certain places have we have a surplus of money, and then they go, hey, what houses need a new TV or a new dishwasher or something, and then that money can go there. That's how you work with like a nonprofit kind of things.
Have you ever thought about? I know you were saying that you were writing music. Have you ever thought about like writing some instrumental tracks that you might be able to release? Like there was a company that reached out to us. I can't remember the name of them. They actually were saying like to help promote them. They wrote something weird on our Instagram, and it seemed a lot like spam. So I called them out on it, and I was just like, you know, you can feel free to advertise and ask. I said, just don't post stupid things on our post. And he's like, no, I didn't mean to. He goes, I was just promoting. We're from KW, I think. Beats with a whole bunch of Z's or something. But they got big because I think they were doing like instrumental tracks, right?
Sounds awesome. No, I haven't thought of that in particular, but I mean anything that we could do to be creative, right? I've put together some instrumental tracks. Like my buddy Cliff has a YouTube channel. You know Cliff.
I know Cliff.
Jared.
Yep. He's a comedian. Yeah.
I wanna have a piece of pizza. I'm eating pizza with you bitches.
There he is. I don't know what happened there.
We're back.
There we go. I'm just gonna turn off the audio. We will edit that out. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so we were just talking about how you were getting on your focus. You were talking about how and why, and like you're gonna do this as a full-time business, and you're getting your buddy Tom to get you're gonna work together on getting a space, and maybe like move into the scene where you can do like coffee houses and stuff with the kids and stuff.
Yeah. And that my inclination is probably going to be to start way too many things.
Yeah.
So trying to keep it tight, trying to keep it focused. Right now, it's going to be mainly the lessons, and the band, and then see where it can go from there. I mean, I have ideas like make a kind of record label kind of thing, like basically just help kids record, right?
Yeah.
If they want to come in and cut their stuff, could do lots of stuff. I'm thinking of making a show. Like it could go lots of places. I'd love to get overseas with this. There's lots of ideas, but right now it's providing opportunities for kids in this community to make great music. Just get really creative with it, and then in the meantime, like make stuff like. So it's that part of it's the local side of it, right? I want to be involved with people on the ground, but obviously with the internet, we can share that anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to teach the Bible. I mean, that's like a great thing you can do with music. Like, I've taught my kids Bible verses and things with the songs I've written, and could share that with churches, and then just share the fun and creativity. I'd love to get people into music, like. This part of the teaching with kids is I want to start doing covers of cool old songs. Like, you guys ever heard that song by Hocus Pocus by Focus?
No. Oh, no, but I have heard the song where Jeremy Wright wipes snot on his pants.
What?
Oh, thank God this isn't a video podcast. Did you really wipe snot on your shorts?
Listen, man, I gotta pick my nose, that's all. Shut up, you idiot. What is the song?
That song's called I Picked My Nose and I Wiped It on My Pants.
then there's some yodeling.
Nice yodeling.
Sounds like Jeremy's dog tail stuck in the door.
So that's a
Alexa,
right?
okay?
Oh my gosh, man.
So you were saying about like a record label, like, do you think though, like, you personally would have to release a bunch of things to get that off the ground, like, so people see, oh hey, look what he's done? Like, you could even, not saying to release tracks on Instagram, but like have videos of like your, like, what you would use as a studio as you're recording, a video of like kind of like a montage of, say, hey, this is me recording a song, this is the release of the song, have the song playing while you're doing kind of like make it look like the process of putting the tracks together, and maybe put that on Instagram. Like, do you think that would be more of a draw to bring kids in to say, hey, look what this guy's doing at his house? I think I'd want to be a part of that. Do you think that would be like a good marketing thing for you?
Yeah, like I need to get my internet game like way better than it is. Like I mentioned, like it's basically just been me tinkering and like I haven't shared it a lot. I haven't advertised other than like I'll post a video on my Facebook or whatever. But yeah, I need to start getting it out to people in town. I think it can grow grassroots pretty good once we get some momentum going, because I think it is something that people will be into. Mm-hmm. But and then as far as those further ideas for the business, like I think that's down the road once it's rolling. Like my biggest priorities right now are expanding the lessons. I already have a few students, but expanding that, starting this band, and then like finding a space, and then we can do more as time allows. Like right now, I don't have a lot more time than that. Mm-hmm. I'm working 4 jobs, and I mean that sounds worse than it is. It's not like I'm not working like 90 hours a week, but I am occupied, and then I have a family and all that. But really that, I can't really use the family as an excuse. If anything, that keeps me focused, right? Mm-hmm, it makes me not be frivolous with it. Like every moment counts, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Plus I have like a ready-made test audience at home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, because I was going to say that's the one cool thing too is my daughter, she's 4, and she loves it that I'm DJing. She thinks it's awesome. She came home with this little thing. It was a keyboard. And she's like, Dad, I got this because I want to show you something. I was like, oh, okay, you could have just showed me at the store. But anyway, sorry. It has a little scratch pad on the top. So, like, you move the disc back and forth. So she plugged in headphones. I have a video on my phone. It's so funny. She plugged in headphones, and she's scratching on this scratch pad thing. She's like, and I can play a song. But her thing now is karaoke. She loves to sing. Loves singing. Yeah. So I'm just like, you're gonna be my opening act. You'll be for my cocktail hour. That's what I'm gonna use her for.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is teach her Over the Rainbow, and we're good.
Yeah. Let it fly. I mean, people love that. Mm-hmm. Kids are great. Mm-hmm. They've got the entertainment value built in.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Like, forget like kids being the future. This is like my new line. Like, I believe kids are the future, but they're also right now. Like, they're awesome now. Mm-hmm. Like, your daughter is awesome at 4. Like, people love to hear her sing.
She made up her own song too. It was called "I Don't Care."
Yeah,
and it was just "I Don't Care." That was the lyrics. It was really easy to remember.
I don't care.
Yeah. It's kind of like some of those EDM tracks that got out. There was more words than some of them have. So,
yeah.
So actually, it was funny. I was telling Jared because I didn't know how into like if you were dead set on like Christian music strictly when you were doing it, or like if you were kind of all over the map. And I'm happy to hear that you were kind of all over, because I did look into a little bit of the bands that were like modern bands that were Christian and aren't anymore, or are still Christian, and there were quite a few. Like, I was surprised. Like U2. It's one that I don't really like in the first place, so I don't care if they were Christian or demonic. I don't care what they are. I still don't like them. But
were they Christian?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Evanescence.
What?
Yeah, I know. And there was a lot of things on Black Sabbath that were actually to be thought as demonic, but in actual fact, like a lot of their track names apparently were like, yeah.
Well, you gotta think we all grow up in a church, and a lot of our background, like the Hosier guy, take me to church. Like that guy was raised. That guy can sing. That guy can sing. And
Creed.
Anyway.
I didn't say good.
Hosier is way better than Creed.
Yeah, I didn't say they were good.
But that guy can sing, and he said he grew up singing like in an Irish Catholic choir.
Katy Perry.
Oh, she did. She used to sing with the Reliant K. Remember Reliant K? Okay. Maybe you don't know Reliant K. I don't know.
No.
Oh.
I know Special K.
Fair enough.
Good with milk.
Reliant K came out with a song is like Sadie Hawkins dance.
What are they, like Yellow Card?
Sadie Hawkins dance in my khaki pants. There's nothing better. Oh.
That's
what is that?
That's Sadie Hawkins dance.
By who?
Reliant K.
Oh.
I can't believe you don't know that.
No.
Anyway, man. Whatever.
It's not Cardi B. I don't know it.
And the big ones like Thrice. Like that's a huge band.
Oh yeah, not so big. No, that's not cool. Let's not say the big word.
That's a big band. I don't know.
That's a big word.
Right. So Ben, did you hear about off topic? Did you hear that Dustin Kenzer's coming out with a podcast?
Who?
Dustin Kenzer.
No.
Who's Dustin Kenzer?
But I'd probably listen to that.
He's the lead singer of Thrice, and he's going to be interviewing musicians. That's like his new shtick.
We should have him on the podcast.
Yeah. Good luck. Well, we're shooting for the stars on the PM&A podcast.
Hey, we got some.
Hey, do it. He'd be a great guest. I love that guy. I'm a big fan of Thrice.
Yeah. We try. It's funny. We've like reached out to like some big names out there for like podcasts. Like,
sorry.
I'm gonna turn down. I got my hand on the knob.
I'll stop.
Anyway, it would be cool. So Ben, how can people like find out about your stuff? What are like the couple ways they can do it?
Well, if you go to joyfulawmusic.com, so joyful AWE music.com, that gives a link to some of my social stuff. Like I said, my internet game isn't great yet, but you're in on the ground floor. If you're listening to this right now, you're in on the ground floor. There is some interesting stuff to listen to on YouTube. I'm really proud of the Chippy song, which my students put together, and some funny songs and some songs that teach the Bible too. I've kind of recorded some stuff, but like coming soon, the luminescent, often magnificent, joyful All Music Fun Band is going to be hitting Chatham, and we're going to be recording some stuff live off the floor. It's going to be loud. It's going to be fun. I might use the channel to do some music teaching too. Maybe even a show. I don't know. It's gonna be heating up. So
I mean, can I throw out a suggestion? Maybe maybe even throw like when you guys are doing like a class or a session, maybe throw it on live on Instagram.
Yeah.
Live on Instagram. You can do that?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that on Instagram.
I didn't know there was live. I knew YouTube and Facebook.
Oh,
but
the stories. Yeah, you can do live. Yeah, you can do live. Yeah. But I wasn't sure if that's a good venue. Like for like the video and stuff, but that's a good way, or that's a good suggestion. Yeah, that's a good way to get out.
Don't call me smart if I'm dumb. Call it as it is.
I'm just saying.
That's a good dog.
Well, the connectivity for music has to be good. If you're playing music, it's got to be like top notch.
Okay, so. But it's still like even if it's just a prep, if you're going through and you're like it'll kind of show people like the process and how people are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets eyes and looks.
Eyes and looks. That's all what Instagram's about.
It really is.
Unless you're blind and then you're doing touches and
then
feels.
You're getting touches and feels.
Yeah. Anyway, so they can catch you on Instagram the same way, right? Awful.
Yep.
Awful.
Yeah, it's at
awful.
It's
joyful.
It's at awful music.
An awful joyful music.
I'm at joy. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Let's hear that awful ukulele.
Sorry, Ben.
There we go.
Joyful music, and it's on Instagram. People can get a hold of you there.
And at
Instagram,
joyfulmusic.com as well. You're saying?
Yeah,
joyfulallmusic.com. Yeah. That's where it's at. That's where we're gonna start heating up.
And on the website, is that where people could get a hold of you if they wanted to like
lessons?
Lessons or you know, say they had music or.
yeah, we're local. So if any of your listeners happen to be from Chatham, Kent, that's where I'm located. Although, hey, like maybe a Skype. I don't know. Maybe we could do a Skype thing.
Yeah, you can do Skype lessons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually going to be. I was going to interview for a cruise before I had my two little girls. I was going to interview for a Disney cruise, and that's how they did the interview. Yeah. They basically email you the music 10 minutes before, and you have 10 minutes to learn the music, and then they were going to do a Skype interview with you to hear you play. So you had to have like a decent camera and a way for them to hear you.
But
like
nowadays, everybody has way better cameras.
Right, like you didn't like my cell phone wasn't as good as it is now, right? But
yeah. So, thanks for coming on, Ben. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. This was awesome.
Thanks for chatting.
It's a great first podcast experience.
Yeah, man, and it's good catching up. We'll have to make the venture down to Chatham and grab some coffee.
Where exactly is Chatham? Which direction are we heading from? Are you on the other end of Toronto, or are you going towards London?
No, you're going to London and then go about an hour and a bit further than that, and then you're gonna hit Chatham,
like past St. Thomas and all that.
Yeah, we're like we're like less than an hour from Windsor.
Oh, so you're not towards the direction of St. Mary's, right? Like you're the other way.
St.
Like
Mary's
from London,
is like London area. Yeah, no, just head her down the 401.
Oh,
okay. Head her down the 401.
Take her down. Take a rip down there.
Exit 90.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Take 2 lefts. I'll be on the corner with my thumb out.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be there with the awful music.
Street corner.
Yeah. Playing the ukulele.
I pull it over.
Oh man, Ben, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You have yourself a good evening.
You guys too.
Take it easy, buddy.
All right. Bye.
Okay, guys, don't turn it off. We're not done yet.
Okay. I'm here.
No, you gotta go.
No, you gotta go.
Oh,
you gotta go. This is where you jump off the train.
Bye, Ben.
All right. Yeah, are we done?
Yes, sir.
Love you, buddy.
Have a good one.
All right. See you, man.
See ya.
Bye.
Hit the fucking end button. There we go.
Hey.
All right, guys. So the contest is, I'm gonna call it over because we had 3 entries for our intro contest. Now, basically, we had, like I said before, we were using our copyright-free music. I suggested to Jared that maybe we try and, make things a little bit more interactive with you guys because we appreciate you guys as listeners, and to, give you guys an opportunity to send in your tracks that you might have, some cool music that you guys are working on that, you want to share. So, and basically, we'll promote your music, and anything else that you guys might have musically going on or anything like that, to kind of spread the love and spread this thing called social media. So we have 3 entries. I'm not going to say who they're from or who they're by. I think we should just play them, and
let's spin the DJ music.
Let's
drop this track. Let's hear some rip-rop-rip-a-doo. So these are going to be the is it 2 tracks? Sorry, 3 tracks. 3 tracks. We're going to use this form of A, B, and C, and
label them? Okay.
Why not? So we'll just label whatever's A, B, and C, and then people can vote on it.
You want to vote?
Or no? What? We're not going to vote?
Actually, you know what? I think that's a good idea. I think what we'll do is like, you can pick a track that you like out of the 3. I'll pick a track that I like out of the 3, and then we'll basically, why don't we throw it on Instagram? We'll let everybody else kind of have a pick as well.
Yeah. So people that are actually
I like that idea.
Yeah. So people that are actually listening to it, the podcast can take part in our motion to the motion. So if you can just Ernie's just getting the music set up.
Figure out where the music is.
Yeah, well, you just turned it off. Wasn't it on the Google?
Oh, was it on the Google Drive?
Yeah, it was on the. It's right there.
Just clicking stuff.
Ernie turned it off.
Okay, so this is going to be, the first track is called West Coast, and we'll play a little bit of this one here. I like it. It's a West Coast, that's for sure.
What up? I'm got like that kind of like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
I'm gonna skip it ahead just a little bit.
And just so people know, this is non-copyrighted. This is someone's made it, so we can use this for free.
Might be a cool like outro kind of deal.
Yep. I think
but intro music, not too bad. I'm gonna give it a.
If we're rating things out of 5, I'm gonna give this 3.5.
I was just about to say a 3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
That's scary.
3.5.
Let's do the next one. West Coast. That was the West Coast one. So
I didn't mind that one.
yeah, why don't we call that one
West Coast.
A?
We'll call it. Okay, we're gonna call that one A.
Why not? That'll
No,
be A.
no, don't call it A because we're gonna. Okay, you can call that one A.
Or A West.
That is
just
number A.
Just the West Coast.
Call that A. I like that. Oh, it's not
Yeah.
too bad. Okay, so here's the other one, and we'll call this one B, and it's called Beats Broken.
Or
Beats
Broken
Broken. Or
This
Broken
is,
Beats.
This is our
No,
B.
it's Beats Broken.
Thank you again for the people that sent this stuff in.
Whoa, I want to start this one again. Hang on.
Go back.
That went really loud.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Thank you for sending this in, guys. Thank you for sending this music, taking the time to make this music and sending it.
This
to
is
us.
really cool.
Let's hear it.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Fuck, I really like this one.
I like this one a lot too.
Woo! This is a banger.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the PM&A podcast. Episode, we don't know numbers.
What? Who cares what number this is?
I like it.
Number go fuck yourself. I would turn this on and like just drive down the road.
Yeah, I could see myself
nice and slow.
just ripping it up down the road.
Rip roaring down the road.
So that was B.
That's B. Oh, a little break. Did you hear that? I'm a fan.
Yeah, that one's close. That's a close first.
That's a good one.
So the first one was 3.5.
I'm gonna give that one like a 4.5.
Yeah, that one was almost up. That was up there. That was like, so far that was like the best one.
Definitely.
Mind you, I only have like one other one. So.
Okay.
What's the next one called?
Beats. Kipling. Hang on a sec.
So
Beats.
Plexomatic Beats? No. Oh, sorry.
No, it's Beats Kipling to Kennedy.
Okay, Beats Kipling to Kennedy. Beats Kipling.
I didn't make the names of these things, just so you know.
Yeah, they're sent into us.
It's not really the. Oh, it's kind of got a cool vibe to it.
I like that too.
I think I like this one.
You can be like, hey, welcome to the PM&A
podcast.
On our logo, we have a coffee and a microphone.
Ernie just fell asleep from doing too much weed.
We hope you enjoy our podcast.
I think he's freaking out because he won't open his eyes.
I would dig this as a I don't know.
I'm
let the
kind of
listeners.
feeling. You know what? I think this is my vote.
I like it too. I like the vibe. This is our vibe. It's chill. So if people turn down for a sec. If people think like our vibe is like we just hang out and you're our friends and we want you to hang out and talk with us and laugh, and so this seems like our vibe.
Very chill.
Bring it back up. Welcome to the PM&A podcast. Ba-ba-ba. We know numbers.
And it goes on with my what is going on.
Boom! We got it. Yeah. Well, let's let the people vote though.
Yeah.
But so this is number C. So
Okay.
A, B, C.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool. Thanks,
Those
guys.
are really, really good. Like that guy's got some serious talent.
Skills to pay the bills.
I was very, very impressed. I just kind of played it for a quick sec because I kind of wanted to have my initial reaction to it. But okay, so yeah, why don't we do that? I like that idea, Jer. So we'll go. We'll
tell you.
We'll go on the Instagram, right? And we'll say, vote between your pick, which is going to be track. Which one did you pick? Sorry.
I kind of like C too.
You're gonna go C. Okay, I'm gonna go B then, because I was a really big fan of B as well.
Okay, I like C.
So you're gonna take
like C.
B.
C.
Take C, and I'm gonna take track B. We'll
Yep.
put it on the Instagram, and you guys tell us which ones you guys liked, And I like that idea because then again, we're letting you guys choose too because we appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate you guys as fans, and
thanks for being listeners.
I think we really want you guys to be a part of this as well because it's we enjoy it and we hope that you guys are enjoying it. So we want to kind of make you guys a part of it as well. So I like that idea.
I love it too.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Well, this one was fun.
We got some good podcasts coming up, people. I hope you realize, this is, we're starting up, just so people know, we're in September.
You know what's funny? Remember we joked on the way, we grabbed pizza on the way here, and we were joking, we're like, we're booked till, April, I think.
We're booked till, April 2020.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, oh, people keep asking about, hey, so, podcast guests? I'm like, hope you have a notebook and a planner, because you're going to be waiting, 4 months, because it's just, it's cool because we've got some cool content and we're trying to keep it. We changed it up. Ben just came on, talked about something we've never really. We've talked about music before, but not
in that in depth. Kind of platform. No.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Keep it up. Keep it real, man.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for everybody, and we're looking forward to hearing what you guys think.
Cheers to cheers.
Peace.
Bye.